Okay, people, forgive me. This is part 2 of our video. There's my coffee, and there's the remains of what used to be a concha. Y'all know what that is. Anyways, getting back to this, part 2. All right, Book of Daniel. As I stated, we're trying to prove here in Scripture that our Father in heaven, Yahweh, is not God or a God. We are putting differences between these things, okay? And it helps that we use what was written in former times by Moses, or the prophets of old. There are really, really great scriptures in there, people, that prove these things. And I will be more than glad to do one in Spanish here pretty soon for ustedes que no hablan inglés. I can do a Spanish one, okay, for those of you who do not speak English. But anyways, okay. This chapter here details and explains that our Father in heaven, yes, you will see, is not a God. Feel free to read the whole chapter. I'm just going to point out pertinent scriptures, okay? Notice what kind of here, I'll start reading. And over these 3 presidents, okay, it pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes or satraps to be over the whole kingdom. And over these presidents, 3 presidents, chief administrators, of whom Daniel was one, that the princes might give their accounting to them, so the king should suffer no losses. Then this Daniel distinguished himself above the other presidents and all the princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king preferred him and had in mind to set him over the whole realm. Therefore, the presidents and princes tried to find grounds to accuse Daniel with regard to his administration, but they could find no occasion nor fault, because he was faithful. No error nor fault could be found in him. Then these men said, "We will find no grounds to accuse this Daniel unless we find it against him concerning the law of his God." Okay? Notice Daniel had distinguished himself above the other presidents. This is why the king, he liked him so much. Okay? Let's keep on here. Then these men said, "We will find no grounds to accuse this Daniel unless we find it against him concerning the law of his God." Notice, they're calling whomever Daniel worships as just another God, because that's all God worshippers know. Okay? All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, here in verse 7, the princes, the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to institute a firm decree that whoever requests a petition, notice people, notice right here, a petition of any God or man for 30 days, except of you, O king, he must be thrown into the den of lions. A decree has been passed to establish a statute and to institute a firm decree that whoever requests a petition of any God, any means any and all gods, or man, except of you, O king, he must be thrown into the lion dens. See that? So let's keep reading. I'll jump down to 10, verse 10. Now when Daniel learned that the decree was signed, he went into his house, and in his upper room, where the windows were open towards Jerusalem, he knelt down on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks and praise before Yahweh, just as he had done before. And these men assembled and discovered Daniel praying and making supplication before Yahweh. Please notice verse 11 carefully. These men were the king's men. These were God worshippers as the king was, and discovered Daniel praying and making supplication before Yahweh. Now you're probably thinking, well, how could he be praying to Yahweh if these men supposedly are God worshippers? That's a great question. Whoever probably wrote the book of Daniel was probably a Yahweh worshiper. Okay? These books were, I think, were written years after, these people lived, okay, who were Yahweh worshippers. Let's keep going. So they approached the king and spoke to the king about the king's decree, saying, Have you not signed a decree that whoever requests a petition of any god or man for 30 days, except of you, O king, must be thrown into the den of lions? The king answered and said, This thing is true according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, or Persians, however you want to pronounce it, which cannot be altered nor revoked. Then they reported to the king and said that Daniel, who is one of the captives of the children of Yada, or Judah, does not regard you, O king, nor the decree that you have signed, but he makes his petition 3 times a day. Notice these men have supposedly found fault, not according to the law of Yahweh, but according to the decree that their king had established. So that's why they think that Daniel was praying to another god. Then the king, when he heard this report, was greatly displeased with himself. Why was he displeased? Because Daniel had established himself or distinguished himself above the other presidents. This is why the king loved Daniel. Okay? He was displeased with himself and set his mind upon freeing Daniel, and he worked until sunset to rescue him. He thought he was a great man. Daniel was a prophet. But these men assembled before the king and said to him, O king, now what the law of the Medes and the Persians is, that no decree nor statute which the king establishes may be changed, altered, nor revoked. So the king gave the command, and they brought Daniel out and threw him into the den of lions. But the king had spoken to Daniel and said, Your God whom you serve so faithfully will have to save you. Again, these words are being spoken by a God worshiper, thinking that Yahweh is just another God. Okay, and a stone was brought and laid over the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and the signet of the officials, so that the purpose concerning Daniel might not be changed. Okay, this is where it gets great. Then the king went to his palace and spent the night fasting without any entertainment brought before him, and sleep fled from him. Then the king rose up at the first light of dawn and went in haste to the den of lions. When he arrived at the den, notice people, he cried out with an anguished voice to Daniel, and the king spoke to Daniel, saying, O Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve so faithfully, been able to save you from the lions? Notice Daniel, this really gets me. It gets me hard. Then Daniel said to the king, O king, live forever. Yahweh has sent his Malak, or his messenger, or as that is in the King James, the angel, and has closed the lions' mouths, so that they have not hurt me. For I have been found innocent before him, and also before you, O king, have I done no harm. Notice Daniel's testimony. He says, for I have been found innocent before him, which is before Yahweh. In other words, he didn't pray to no God and to no man, right? That's what the decree stated. He says, I have been found innocent before him. He didn't pray to no God and to no man. And also, notice also, before you, O king, have I done no harm. He didn't pray to any God or any man. You see that? That is in here in plain black and white, people. Yahweh has found Daniel innocent according to the law of Yahweh, which prohibits God worship, and to the king's decree. Like he says, have I done no harm? Daniel did not pray to any God or man. This is 100% scripture, people. I pointed out to you these scriptures back and forth. Feel free to read the whole chapter. Okay? Our Bibles and the law of Yahweh prohibits God worship. Read this carefully for yourself. Yahweh has sent his Malak and has closed the lions' mouths, so that they have not hurt me. For I have been found innocent before him. Daniel's actions have proved him to be innocent, because it says here that Yahweh has found him innocent. That according to Yahweh's law, which prohibits God worship, Daniel did not worship any God or man, nor did he make any supplications to anybody or anything. And also before you, O king, have I done no harm. So it is possible, people, to keep man's decrees and Yahweh's law. I mean, feel free to read it in the ever popular King James. I read out of this because the grammar is so much clearer. When I read this, let me tell you, people, when I first was revealed to this by Yahweh, it couldn't have been made any clearer. And I learned it out of a King James. It was revealed to me out of a King James Bible when I was locked up at the feds. Okay. This is very beautiful. This is great knowledge revealed to us by Yahweh himself to show us that he is just not another God or a God. Rewind the video, people, as much as you want and get the understanding of these scriptures in the book of Daniel or Daniel chapter 6. Clearly, very clearly does Yahweh present himself as a loving father, not a God. Okay, I hope this helps. I hope Yahweh has opened up your understanding to his. Feel free to comment in the comments below or in the comment section below. If you have any questions, comment, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I have to go to work here in a little bit. I hope this helps, people. I pray to Yahweh through his only begotten son, Yahshua, that he opens up your all's understanding. If y'all have ever wanted to find real answers in our Bibles, okay? All the answers are in here. All the answers are here, okay? Y'all have a great day. I will post a video, another video up soon as I get a chance. Y'all have a great day.